Dani Johnson was homeless at 21 and became a multi-millionaire by 23.
But you know what it's like to come up from nothing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Dani Johnson was raised on welfare, pregnant at 17, homeless at 21, and a multi-millionaire at 23.
I ended up with $2.03 to my name, a $35,000 debt, and completely homeless. And I mean homeless. I'm not talking about a figurative way of speaking. I'm talking sleeping. Yes, sleeping in my car and showering in public places and things like that.
How did you go from this terrible circumstance to now you are a successful entrepreneur?
First things first is I started a business from the trunk of my car in a payphone booth and became a millionaire inside of the first 2 years. Today I'm a multi-millionaire, a radio talk show host, a best-selling author of the book Grooming the Next Generation for Success and Spirit-Driven Success. I've got my third book that's just been released called First Steps to Wealth. If you want to learn how to make money, you better learn from people that know how. Don't go ask an opinion of someone that's broke. You need to study people that have the skills.
Most of their friends in the church
are broke. They're all broke. And they know all the good scriptures that justify them staying broke. But the truth is what kind of influence do we have being broke? So, faithful with the little, ruler over much, much more. Stop with your credit card. Start paying cash. So many of the people who are here that have graduated through, they started living on cash. They started using cash. Now you can value that dollar. Ticks me off so many times people go, yeah, but Dani, I live in California, expensive there. I raised my kids here in California. Don't freaking talk to me about that. I just shopped for a week in Vons. That's where those bags came from. But you got your pink salt in your pantry. You feel pretty special and important putting that pink salt out for your guests that you never have. Do you see what I'm saying? It's crazy, isn't it? Why? Faithful with the little. So it's in these things where this flies away. Why? Because it's the habit. It's the habit of thinking this is more important than your children's college tuition. This is more important than your retirement. This is more important than the dream vacation that you've been long waiting for. This is more important than being debt-free. This is more important than helping your elderly parents. This is more important than helping the poor. This. Pink frickin' salt. Then you whine that you don't have the money when it's time to go to First Steps to Success 8 or 9 times in a year. You whine that you don't have the money. You whine that you don't have the time. You got the money and you got the time. It's about where the heck is it going? Are you gonna make this grow into skill sets that you have to make millions of dollars? So whether you're like me and you just want to give it all away, or you're like somebody else that wants to build a big house and have that boat and have those 17 cars or whatever, wants to travel around the world, whatever they want to do. Again, whatever they want to do on the return of the investments, not their cash flow. That's how the wealthy live. It's the return on the investments. It's all the extra cash that's being generated that's not taking their time. They're able to take some of that money, not this cash flow. Cash flow is for your basic essential needs, and the rest is to invest. And if you have a debt, invest in your debt. How many of you want an 18.9% return on every dollar? Pay off your debt. Pay off your credit cards, because you're going to give them the 18.9%. If you want to keep the 18.9%, pay those beasts off. But Dani, should I cash in my 401k to be able to do it? I mean, I have $30,000 in savings. I have $30,000 in credit card debt. What do you think I should do? How much are you earning on that $30,000 in your savings account? $4 a year. And how much are you paying in interest on that $30,000 in debt? How much? It could be up to 29%. So how much of that is for $30,000? How much? $6,000. So you can keep the money in your savings account and make $4 a year, or you can now pay $36,000 in debt. And the year after, you're going to pay how much? $42,000. And the year after, $48,000. Do you hear me? Simple equation. It's just numbers. Do you understand? Because of this. Pink salt. Just salt. Okay, so here I caught myself. I kind of got a little loose on my budget. And why? I'm financially independent. I don't need to watch the pennies and nickels as much as I needed to. I mean, how much could I possibly spend in a week on groceries for myself, right? So I'm at the grocery store, and I thought for a long time that this $5 bucket of spinach was a really good deal. I'm like, dang, man, that is freaking amazing. Look at all that volume and all that spinach for $5. This is incredible. Yes, it's a good deal. And then I was at the grocery store. And I'm buying some more greens. And I came across the broccoli. And I saw the price. $1.78 per pound. $1.78 per pound. How much is this per pound? $5. This is 16 ounces. Hold on a second, okay? Is there anyone here that made it through the 8th grade? How many ounces in a pound? 16 ounces. This says 16 ounces. 16 ounces a pound, $1.78 per pound. Have any of you ever cooked spinach? What does this giant box turn into? Turns into nothing. This is 4 servings. What is this? This is only 14 ounces, by the way. How many servings is this? Okay, wait, well, let's find out. Are you watching? I'm simply telling you how 2% thinks. What's wrong? What's wrong? So how many servings is this? How many of you do not want to eat all that? How many of you would split that serving with somebody? How many of you would split it? Oh, you guys are a bunch of liars. Hold on, let me show you. Ooh, it's smelling like a fart. Okay, that is, there we go. That's for 10 people right there. In my opinion, that's probably maybe 2 to 3 people, just because generally people don't like to eat the green stuff, right? Some people do. How many of you like broccoli? Wow, that means you all fart well. How many of you do not like broccoli? If my husband is here, his hands would be up, and so would my kids. Anyway, so here's, for most, this is 2 people. This would be two servings as a side dish, right? And also 98%ers do that with the stems. So I have lots of servings here of broccoli. So that's 2. This one's a little bit bigger, so I'm going to say this is 3. This is at least 3 for a side dish, for sure. Okay, no one's going to eat broccoli as a main dish unless you're a vegan. I pray for you. I've done vegan before for a minute. It was called the Daniel fast. But this is what 98%ers throw away. And what is this? What is this? This is actually money. It's not food. This is money. This is money. And this is what goes in the trash. This is money in the trash. And it was money that, 16 ounces of spinach, $1.78, $5. $1.78, $5. Dani, I did not come for a shopping lesson. You need one, fool. You need a shopping lesson. Why do you need a shopping lesson? Because I'm pretty sure if I went to your house right now, I would find broccoli with mold on it. I'm pretty sure if I went to your house right now, I would find it with, it's all shriveled up. I would find broccoli right now in your freaking house that has stuff growing on it. That's what I'd find at your house right now, and here had a seminar. Telling you what, I have 200 calories left that I gotta eat. So listen up. It's in this thing. It's throwing stuff away, which shows that you don't value money. When you throw food away, you show that you don't value money. When you waste time on frivolous things, watch out, there's a girl with a knife in her hand. When you do that, it shows that you don't value time. When you waste other people's time, it shows that you don't value their time and you don't value your time. So it's always in the little things. And if you're diligent with the little and consistent with the little, everything else works itself out. It's the pebble in the pond. The big ripple comes from the small thing, not from the big thing. It comes from the small thing. So between all of this is a whole heck of a lot of servings of broccoli when you take this entire thing. Versus this is like 4 really small, and I mean really small. You really need to do 8 ounces to get a serving of spinach, which means this is 2 servings. This is, if I cut all this up, saute that in a pan, I'm gonna say it's 6 to 7 servings. That's what it is. For $1.78 versus 2 for $5. So what's in your pantry? What's in your pantry? This stuff's pretty good too. What's in your pantry? There's money in your pantry. How much? A lot. A lot. You got a lot of money in food in your house. There's a whole lot of money in food that goes directly in the trash. Some of you are paying more money for food because you're using your credit card to pay for it. You can just tack on 18% on top of that. You ready for a promotion? You better get serious about your groceries. Be responsible with the dollars. If you're responsible with the dollars know they can trust you, and they will fly towards you. The dollars know they can't trust you because you don't value it. And when you don't value it, it runs away. It's the same with people. You don't value your spouse will run away. Same with your kids, same with your friends, same with your clients, same with your coworkers. If you don't value them, there they go. Bye-bye. See you later. So, how many of you want to pay off your debt? Anybody here? Are you catching my drift? Is the pink salt worth it? No way. It's not worth it. So now what you got to do is you got to go and assess everything that's in your house. Look at your pantry. How many options for breakfast do you have in your pantry? She's counting right now. 7 in her pantry right now that she knows of. 7 options for breakfast. Let's go to the fridge. How many options for breakfast in the fridge? Hey, all of you new people, I want you to tell me. Come on, add it up. So she has 7 in the fridge, 6 in the pantry. She has 13 options for breakfast in her house. What about the freezer? So we are at 4. 4 in the freezer, 7 in the fridge, 6 in the pantry. So how many are we at? 18? 17 options for breakfast alone. Why? Because we have the money, and we lie when we say we can't afford it. Because we have the money is why we have 17 options for breakfast in our kitchen alone. Because we have the cash. And because we have no vision for the cash gets in the trash. Because we have no vision and we don't understand investing, because we've been trained to be spenders instead of investors, we're blowing it like crazy. So you literally have the money all ready to become financially independent. You do. You already have it. What it's about is directing on purpose where you spend it. It's the same for losing weight. It's the same for your physical body. How? Most of us eat unconsciously. We don't even think about what we're putting in our body. There's no purpose to the food we're putting in our mouths other than I want it to taste good. Well, you are what you eat. You are what you eat. How many of you are a Snickers bar? Any Snicker bars in here? I love me some Snicker bars. I'm telling you right now, I love me some Snicker bars. But guess what? I don't want to be a Snicker bar. I don't want the lumps. I don't want it. That's why there's broccoli in my mouth right now instead of a Snickers bar. Do you understand? But we unconsciously eat, not thinking what the result's going to be. So if you want to win, you want to play like a champion, you better eat like a champion, you better invest like a champion. And you can do it. It's all in the little things. So if you left this weekend, even if you just left tonight, and all you did was now see money for value versus seeing it for waste, and you began to now take the money that's now going to wasted places, and let's just talk about the food alone. Just this category right here. I just showed you 2 places of waste, right? $1.78 per pound versus $5 a pound. Serving 7 people versus 2, right? So I went from $1,200 a month in my food budget down to $500 to $600 a month was my budget. $500 to $600 a month. And this is during the time where my kids were in diapers. 2 kids in diapers, to be exact. How do you do it? People ask all the time, like, how do you do that? It's impossible. No, it's not. If all you do is bring $100 a week, or $125 in my case in the beginning, okay, my family has shrunk as far as who's in the house and who I have to shop for anymore. But now it's about, if that's the only amount of cash that you take with you, trust me, you'll figure out how to buy enough food for everybody with just that amount of money. So do you want to know what my budget was and how we paid off all of that debt? $20 per week per person. $20 per week per person. Now, you might argue with that, but I had a woman with 7 children leave a First Steps to Success, hearing what I just said, and went home and took her $1,600 monthly food budget down to $364. 9 people she fed on $364 a month. What did they do? They took all of that money that was going to waste, and they paid off their debt with it. When they got faithful with the little, her husband got promoted in his job. He got a 20% raise in that same year. That they started paying attention to where the money was actually going and started going, I don't need $4 salt. I don't need $5 for a pound of greens. I'd rather go for the $1.78 pound of greens that serves far more many people. Does that make sense? So that's what she began to do.
Plugging into First Steps to Success, and what brought us to these events was business and making money. Because don't you know, when you make more money, that just makes everything better? That's what they tell you.
Prior to attending these events, we were about to become another statistic of divorce.
My marriage was an absolute mess, and we were drowning in debt.
I needed a way to actually make money on a much higher level. And this is where I started learning actual steps, right? Step by step by step, what it is that I have to do to be able to run and operate a business.
We're going to really dig deep into entrepreneurial skills. Business is a very simple thing. It's not as complex as many of us make it out to be.
I finally had the courage to start my business, and I made just under $30,000 my first year, and that was working on a part-time basis.
When we got plugged into the system, it worked. We both had success in business. My husband made a 6-figure income for the first time. I took a little tiny business from $720,000 to $3.8 million.
We have grown our income by $330,000 a year.
And within 2 years, I was able to build that to a multi-6-figure income now.
How many of you would like to become completely debt-free? Well, how you got into debt was by being sold into debt. So how do you think you're going to get out of debt?
We have used war on debt to pay off, in 24 months, about $1 million.
We have paid off over $250,000 in debt. We're completely debt-free.
We've paid off $369,000 in debt.
I was also able to pay off $80,000 worth of debt in 20 months.
We have used this system and all those products at that back table literally to transform every area of our lives.
This is just one story of the hundreds and hundreds here and the thousands and tens of thousands that exist outside of this room.
You're going to make a decision to absorb the information that's going to transform your life. You've got a multi-millionaire on the stage. She's not taking a salary for it. That is incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet. Help me welcome to the stage America's favorite millionaire, our coach, Mrs. Dani Johnson.
Great job. Proud of you for doing what you just did. You did what a lot of people are not willing to do. Most people just want to run and hide and tuck their head under their bed about their debt, pretending like somehow it's going to go away. But fortunately, you're not doing that. You actually stepped up and you watched this segment of War on Debt. Now listen, no matter what we say at this point, there's 3 types of people. You see, there's always a next step, and there's a next step for you to change your life. We're going to start with person number 3. Number 3 is the one that says, that was great, Dani, but, I just don't know if it really applies to me. You don't know my personal finances. You were even perhaps that person who sat through that video and said, nope, that's not going to work for me. And I'm not giving up my pink salt. Nope, I'm just not going to do that. Okay, if that's you, listen, you're right. God bless you. We totally release you on your way to go and stay on the path that you're already on. This system is definitely not for you. The second type person is the one who is right there, sitting there right now with that pit inside their stomach saying, I just don't know. Like, I need to think about this. I need to contemplate about this. I need to pray about this. I need to kind of reevaluate about this and see, wait, I should talk to my dog, Spot. He can maybe lead me in the right direction. Okay, listen, if you're that second type person, friend, you've been thinking about your debt for a really, really long time. You have been dreaming about your debt for a really, really long time. Your debt has controlled your life for a long time, whether that is a year, a month, or 10 or 20 or 30 years. No matter how long you've allowed debt to control your thoughts, to make decisions for you, to make decisions for your kids, it's time to stop thinking and it's time to take action. It's time to get off the fence. It's time to do what you know you need to do, and that is step out of the 98% of the population that will end up dead or dead broke at the age of 65 and be completely dependent on their family, friends, and federal government for their main source of income. And it is time to get off their path. And it is time to get on that 2% path. The same thing that Hans and I did. The same thing that those stories that you just heard. The same thing that hundreds of thousands of people from all over the globe decided to get off of that 98% path. And they put themselves on that 2% path. So get off the fence, friend. Your dog Spot is not going to help you. And you have already prayed for an answer. And obviously God brought the answer. The answer that he has brought hundreds of thousands of people from all over the world who have played to win with their finances using the strategies of War on Debt. But the number one person is one I'm looking for. It's the one our entire team is looking for. It's the same one that if it was your friend that introduced you to this program, it's the one, you are the one they are looking for. You see, they've already made up their mind. They're heading on that 2% path. They're playing to win with their finances, which is why they introduced you. Or if you somehow stumbled upon this on your own, well, then friend, you have to know that must have been God that directed your fingertips right to this very place. This is not an accident. So the number one person is who we are all looking for. And that's the one that says, I'm in. What do I have to do next? How do I go on the fast track? How do I become one of those stories? How do I ensure myself that I am completely debt-free and that I become financially independent? Not just because of being debt-free, but because you actually increase your skill sets in the area of growing your income at the same time of paying off your debt, that you actually increase your skill sets that reduce the amount of stress that is happening at home and at work, that you increase your skill sets with your ability to learn how to invest money and to become an investor, which creates that financial independence. We want you to be free. So if you're that number one person, you're already asking the questions like, I'm in. What's next? What should I do? What is the quickest way that I can annihilate this? What's the quickest way to win? I'm going to show you right now. 2 things. Number one, do you think it would be smart for you to get the kind of training that has caused people to, well, like Erin, who, when she came to us, she was failing in every way. She was working 60 hours a week. She was never home with her kids. She needed to reduce her hours. Couldn't do it. She's a chiropractor. Made lots of money, but had almost $1 million worth of debt and about to buy $1 million house, which would have meant $2 million worth of debt. She came out to First Steps to Success, a 3-day intensive training program, and she learned how to revolutionize her marriage, her family. She learned to cut her hours back down to 28 hours a week, and she increased her income. In fact, she had her first $1 million year, cutting her hours from 60 down to 28, paid off all $982,000 worth of debt in 20 months, and then accumulated $125,000 in the bank. She learned how to increase her income, increase her love life at home, increase who she was as a mother, and find fulfillment as a mother, decrease her hours, and started to increase her wealth. Today, this woman has loads of rental properties that her and her husband now have an investment company on top of their chiropractic business. So friend, again, not increasing those hours, being able to learn strategies and skills that have revolutionized her entire life. You see, debt has played a part in some challenges in the marriage, challenges with the kid. Debts have played a part in the challenges you're having at work. So if you want to demolish all of it at once, you're that number one person we're looking for. And we will see you at First Steps to Success. Go to the website, DaniJohnson.com, click on events, and get yourself registered right now. You, and if you're married, get your spouse registered right now. If you have teenage kids, get them registered right now. Let's revolutionize the entire family right now. The second thing I'm going to tell you to do is, wouldn't it be smart to have in your hands your own personal content, that what you just saw, but more? You see, we have a tremendous library to keep you on track that's going to speak to you about this thing called War on Debt from several different angles. It's going to help you master your own mind concerning debt, because debt is a habit. It has nothing to do with how much you make. It has everything to do with what you're spending your money on. And so it's going to revolutionize the way you think, the way you act about money, how you see money. You can also use this entire War on Debt system as a home study course for the children or for your college-age kids, so that you can help them not make the same mistakes that you have made. You can also use this War on Debt system when you own it yourself. You can use it even in your office, where you can start beginning to help people that you work with to start getting out of debt themselves, and as well as some of your family members. So you can use this while you're driving in the car, while you're taking a shower, while you're cooking dinner, while you're working out, so that you can keep the training inside of you. What you just saw is a small portion of all of the content that we have completely set up to keep you on track so that you can annihilate that debt. Last night, I was just on the phone with Ned Boer. Ned, in 1 year, paid off $298,000 worth of debt. Ned is a plumber. He's a plumber, and he used the system, and he is right now consumer debt-free. Next is on his list is his mortgage. He's also started to accumulate wealth at the same time of paying out all of this debt. So friend, listen to me. You're next. It's your turn. So whichever one you are, you're number 3 that says, meh, thanks but no thanks. God bless you. We hope that you find what it is you're looking for. Number 2, come on, friend. Dog spot ain't going to help you. You've already prayed. Here's the answer. Take advantage of the answer and do what number 1 is going to do. Register for First Steps to Success right now. 100% money back guaranteed 3-day conference that is going to revolutionize your life, your family, your finances, and your job all at the same time. And do the second thing, which is get a hold of your own material, your own content of War on Debt, where you're going to have access to bonuses as well as other training materials. They're going to help seal you in and keep you on this 2% track where you're playing to win in the financial category, no longer playing to lose. So that's it for us. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you at First Steps to Success.